So it is the 7th inning. Stephen Huff joined alongside the voice of the Mystic Schooners, Laura Hoover, but we're also joined in the booth by a special guest once again. It's Rick Lombardi. You're the head of the grounds crew here at Newport, and you make an annual appearance into the booth every single year, and this is your time. It's a great time in playoff baseball.
It is a great time. This is a special time of year, and this is where the rubber meets the road. You know, it's do or die. You're in or you're out. So
first offering to Kessinger is going to be popped up to the third base side in foul territory. Jones is giving chase. He's there for out number 1. And, of course, it is do or die. It's so much intensity in this game. I know, obviously, you're head of the grounds crew. You're taking care of the field before and during the game, but you're also a fan. I see you behind home plate hanging out with the general manager and president of the Newport Gulls, Chuck Pava, rooting on the team, watching the game. Take us through your day, what it's like here at Cardines.
Well, we get to the park, usually around 4:30, and we basically our job starts once they stop taking batting practice, and it's time to get this field ready. And she's a great field and 100 years old, and I'll tell you, it's a pleasure and a privilege to work on this field. I mean, Babe Ruth played here, and Lou Gehrig, and the old Negro League teams, and Satchel Paige. I mean, the history here is just incredible, and it's just our privilege to make it look great and get it ready for the best talent in college baseball.
Yeah, and you guys do such a great job with it, too. How about some of those days that are a little bit tougher to deal with the field? The Ocean State game a couple weeks ago where it suspended the game. What do you do in a big storm like that? How do you prep the field? How do you deal with the field?
The field only takes so much, and it only takes so much rain. So, I mean, you really have to get it ready and get it going ahead of time. And if you don't beat it, then you're done. One of the things they do is they'll put the top out over the field if they know there's rain coming in the forecast, and they'll keep it as dry as possible. This field drains well, and so it can take a lot of rain, but after a while it's just so much. So you just got to let Mother Nature kind of dictate what happens is basically what it is.
Yeah, sometimes you're handcuffed by Mother Nature, and there's nothing you could do about it. But seeing how you guys balance that and are able to control the field, it's been impressive all year. I mean, you guys put in more work than anybody.
There's a system to it. And, there's some of us that have been here a long time. I've been doing this for 16 years. It's a labor of love for me. And I tell everybody it's my therapy. It's my place where I can come and not worry about anything.
Yeah, you're out there kind of, with your crew, and you're able to just zone in on the work. That is a good therapy session for you.
And I love baseball. I mean, I'm just a baseball fan. While I'm a huge Red Sox fan, I love baseball. And this is some of the best college talent in America that come to the NECBL, and we're so lucky every year to see these kids and how they progress, and some of them make it to the major leagues, and it's pretty cool.
Well, Sansone did catch Barry looking on a breaking ball for strike 3, so there's 2 away here in the top of the 7th. He's facing off against Justice Burke.
So I have to say, before we go too far, I want to give a shout-out. I got a text earlier tonight. Kevin Long, our former pitching coach here for many years, and his wife, his beautiful wife Candy, are listening to the game tonight down in Lakeland, Florida, and they wanted to give a shout out to everybody. And obviously they're wishing the Gulls the best. And Kevin and Candy have a special place in their heart for the Gulls. I know they do. So just a shout out to them.
And who better to get the shout out from than Rick Lombardi, who also a special place in the Gulls' heart, and you have a special place in your heart for the Newport Gulls. But you were telling me a little bit a couple days ago about how this field used to play. It was in 2001. There wasn't these 28 feet high fences. It was actually a little bit shorter out there.
It was shorter, and they added a section of fence from left field to right center, and this was a home run ballpark back then. I mean, the ball would fly out of here, and then when they raised the fences to keep some of the balls from hitting the houses and breaking windows and the like, it turned it into a doubles ballpark, really. It really did. I mean, and vis-a-vis, we lead the league in doubles, I believe, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So it's because of that park. If you've been paying attention to the Newport games, you've seen the trees that come in as a cutout, especially in left field.
Right.
that missing link is that extra link that where everything was raised
Correct.
after that 2001 season, as this
Right.
one's also popped up into the infield. Holzwasser now just teetering on the left field grass, and he's there for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for the Schooners here in the 7th. We're going to keep it here during stretch time to talk to Rick Lombardi a little bit more. Of course, you've been with the Gulls for quite some time now. Talk about what you love so much about being with this team and what you've seen from this team over the years.
Aside from the baseball, the Gulls, it's a family thing. I mean, my kids came here when they were little, and they grew up with the Gulls. We hosted a Gull for a season, and we hosted coach for a season there. And but it's the family atmosphere. It's a place in Newport where you can bring your kids and not have to worry about them. And like right now, they're all standing up singing "Take Me Out to the Ballpark," and it's about a family venue. And whether it's with the host families or with all of us as volunteers, Chuck and his crew, all the owners, make you feel like you're part of their family.
And I think you bring up a great point there. I'm from the Midwest. A lot of listeners know that, from Omaha, Nebraska. And so I came out here not knowing what to expect. It was like the first day of school all over again for me, and I was a little bit nervous, but everyone was so welcoming. It really does feel like family early on. Even with you. I mean, You and I got to chatting the first day here, and immediately it's just warm, inviting feelings from everybody, and it's just a blessing to be here.
And that's the whole key. I mean, the Gulls are the volunteers, and they're the host families, and without them, it doesn't happen. And we all have to work together, no matter what it is. And I used to come up here with Nick, and it was always fun for me. And but we all get to know each other. We get to know the players. I mean, this is a special team this year. They've been very resilient. And I see a likeness almost to the 14 team, where it was kind of a roller coaster ride all season, and you wondered what was going to happen, and then crunch time would come, no days off, double headers, you're on the road and you win, and this team just seems to be, they like each other. They're playing well together.
And I think you bring up another excellent point. The last time the Gulls won the NECPL was in 2014, and now you're seeing a similar likeness here as Chris Hamilton gives this one a charge, but it's hooking foul in right field. 1-1 now the count, but this team, it was kind of up and down the whole season. They couldn't find that hot streak, and they found it here recently. I mean, they've been crushing the ball, and that's exactly when you want to heat up, is around playoff time.
I mean, it was the same thing in 14. It was early July, and we were sitting here, and it was a doubleheader, and it wasn't going well. And then they just clicked. And this team has done the same thing. And they're just a likable bunch. They really are, and they like to be with each other.
Yeah, I think, that just goes through the whole Newport organization. We talked about how everyone is so warm and welcoming, but even with the players, too, I mean, all of them are just out there having fun, enjoying each other, and it makes for a great product on the field. Now, you've been with the team for quite some time. How many of the championships, the Gulls have won 6, how many of them have you seen here as a part of the Gulls?
All of them.
All of them. And so, I mean, you are the man for the Gulls. You've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
And just,
seen them all.
I mean, how special is it, some of those postseason runs?
There's nothing like it. I mean, they're all special, but the one that was the most special to me was that 14 team. They were just a bunch of dirt dogs, and they had one player, a kid, the last name is Salter, who was from Michigan, I think, or Michigan State, and he carried this team on his back that year. And to go up to Maine and win it in Maine was pretty special,
Yeah, I mean, it's such a long bus ride, and you worry about, are the guys going to be fresh? But as you said, a bunch of them just being a bunch of dirt dogs out there, able to grind it out and get that victory for the 6th NECBL championship for the Gulls.
They were holding the pitching staff together with bubble gum and packing tape that year. All right, I mean, I still wonder how they did it, but and that's a credit to the coaches. We had Mike Coombs here, and Kevin Long kept that pitching staff together, and they were on pitch counts, and they figured it out.
Yeah, able to
figure it out.
Balance all that. It does speak to the coaching staff, and talent of the Gulls able to power through as that first pitch to Malloy is in there for strike one. Chris Hamilton went down swinging on strikes, so there is one away here in the 7th.
And I got to say, I did get a text. Well, the whole group of us got a text the other day from Coach Coombs when he found out they were in the playoffs. He's been following them all summer, I believe, but he was pretty excited about the fact that they were back into the playoffs too.
Coach Coombs was the longtime manager of the Newport Gulls. This year, Kevin Winterow took over for the first time. But talk about that. You were around Coombs quite a bit, and he's such a character. Do you have any stories that you could share about him?
There's some pretty colorful stories about Mike Coombs. He led the league in throwing bases.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went out there one year and got a little tip with the umpire, and he took first base and he threw it across into the outfield. It was actually spectacular. I think we gave him an award for it actually.
And it deservingly so.
But he was a colorful guy.
Now, as the head of the grounds crew, when you see a coach going out there kicking all the dirt and throwing bases, what's your reaction? Because you're laughing now, but in the moment, do you care?
No.
You
That's
love
baseball.
It. Yeah, you love it.
That's baseball. And Mike was a baseball lifer, and that was his style, and it was unique. I mean, the man won 300 games in the NECBL.
Oof.
I don't know if anybody will ever do that again.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do that by accident. You have to be a heck of a coach to do that.
No. But a team effort. Good coaches, good players. It's a winning combination. From the top to the bottom.
It's now McClinsky looking on to Malloy. It's a 1-2 count to the Vanderbilt designated hitter. He's going to pop this one up into foul territory. Barry behind the plate is looking for it, and he's not going to track it well. It's going to come back. He overran it. And so Malloy's able to stay alive at the plate.
There's not much room back there for the catcher. You don't see too many balls caught back here.
There's almost no room back in foul territory anywhere in Cardines. No. And that's just a product of being such an old field.
This field was built around the neighborhood. You can see that the way it twists and turns in the outfield. But
it's in the center of Newport.
But this was reclaimed land. Before they named it Cardines Field, it was called the Basin. And they reclaimed this land, and before they did that, at high tide, this used to fill with water.
Right. And people used to complain about the mosquitoes around here and all that, and so they had to switch.
It was a swamp.
It was, yeah.
It was a swamp.
I mean, it was called the Basin, and so they switched it to Cardines Field and developed such a beautiful site for us.
It's a unique ballpark. It's a gem. It's a baseball gem.
That 2-2 is cut on and missed for strike three. Second in a row for McClinsky here in the seventh.
Although there will be an error off of Barry with the missed catch as well. So another error registered for both of these teams tonight.
So there's two away now for Brett Vosick at the plate. Now, one thing I have to, talk to you about, I'm in a suit every day, and I'm always complaining in the hot days in July, oh, man, this is so tough. I don't know how you do it because you're actually doing labor out there. I mean, you battle through it, and you're a pro.
You lose a few pounds out there, for sure. And I can afford to lose a few pounds. So
I can.
You can't, that's for sure, but I can. So I'll be happy to give you a few. Not a problem.
That's a fair trade to me. I'll take you up on that any day.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
How'd you enjoy your first summer?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I am so blessed to be here. I'm talking about the family atmosphere, everyone just being so great to work with, as this one's going to be popped up into the infield and caught by Barmakian for out number 3. But I really am just so blessed to be here because, like I said, it was the first day of school again for me, and I was a little bit nervous. How am I going to fit in? Everyone going to be fun to work with? And it's just been the best experience. It truly is like a family atmosphere here, and it feels like a family that I have here in Newport. But on top of that, I'm calling baseball games every day. I'm seeing parts of the Northeast, part of the country that I've never seen. So I think I have it made out here this summer. I think I'm the most fortunate person out there for at least the 2019 summer.
It's a dream.
It really is.
It's a dream. I grew up, listening. I love listening to baseball on the radio, by the way. I'm really old school. And I grew up listening to way back in the day when the Red Sox were Kirk Gowdy, and then, we had guys like Ken Coleman and then Martin, and, now you've got Joe Castiglione and all those great. And we've always been lucky to have great announcers, but you're gonna be there someday. I can tell. You're gonna be the next Vin Scully. All right.
Oh man, you're too kind. You're too kind. Well, we held you here for an inning.
It's my pleasure. Are you kidding me? This is great.
You're welcome back anytime. So
Thanks, my friend.
We'll let you off the hook. You can enjoy the rest of the game.
Okay, guys.
Rick Lombardi,
Thanks
everybody,
very much.
the head of the grounds crew for the Newport Gulls.